Welcome to this wonderful platform. If it is your first time of stopping by or coming across this channel for the first time, you are welcome. Please, if you like what you see here, after watching, subscribe, put on your notification bell. It's very important because it's going to help you to know when I upload a new video. In this channel, I present to you news on daily basis on what is happening in the whole world, especially in Nigeria and in Biafra land. Yes, I'm Mother Biafra. I bring to you Biafra news. So before I do that, what I always do is that I analyze it and I sit down there to watch the video together with you. Then we'll come to the comment section to talk about it. Of course, everybody is entitled to his or her opinion. That is why the comment section is there for you to contribute, leave your ideas, your thoughts, your belief about the videos that you have watched. Please, as we are doing this, let us do it constructively. As we hop into today's video, remain blessed. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate your massive support in this channel as we watch.
Who yet not understand how this great movement led by NNAMDIKANU and NNAMDIKANU, the great man of our time, for those who have not gotten the clue how IPOB that is established by a man of honor, man of integrity, man like no other man in Africa, NNAMDIKANU. They should understand that this method we are using have never been used before in any history of any part of the world. This is why when God sends you a message, you don't need to be worried about any challenge, because God who sent you will be there for you to help you to actualize exactly the message He sent you for. Despite their huge money they are throwing around the world, despite the lobby that is going on in different parts of nations, with the resources generated from our land, God still be God over their life. God have showed them that knowledge, understanding, wisdom is far greater than money bag. What is happening to Nigerian state, and especially the most devilish among politicians in that contraction called Nigeria, are the Igbo politicians. I am an Igbo man, but I must tell you the facts, because this is why we are IPOB. It doesn't matter where and who the truth will affect. Even though if it happens that I speak the truth that will affect me, that's what makes us an IPOB. That's why we are a special family in the world. We don't hide any error. We don't hide any sin within ourselves. Even though the sin is coming from us, we will confess the sin before the whole world, and the world will take note that yes, these people are being transparent in their activities and in anything they do. Today, we have experienced a newborn nation in that part of Africa, and not just being a newborn nation, but a very big relief to our family which Nigerians map out into Cameroon. Today, they have become the free people among the nation. It is a thing to celebrate that we have seen some of our parts of our family being free, being rejoicing and dancing on their independence. You see those in Akwa Ibom, you see those in River State, the refugees, Amazonian refugees, in Biafra land, rejoicing and dancing There is nothing greater than freedom. That is why there is no freedom without a very huge price to pay. But the most important is, after paying the great price, let the Chukwokika, the God of all creation, give us what He had promised us. And the method that our great man of our time introduced has given us a very big relief, that today the world have seen those who are in control of Biafra land. Not that they have seen it today, they have been seeing it, but today own was a special one. All the satellites of the world were focused on Biafra territory to see terror camp. And terror camp, if you don't mercilessly bring or lose down the terror camp, definitely one day that terror will consume you for keeping quiet. I want to thank every Biafrans back home. I want to thank all the religious leaders in Biafra land. I want to thank all the market women and the market men in Biafra land, the traders, those who runs their private companies in Biafra land. I thank you all. Chukwokika, God who liveth in heaven, who remained in heaven to watch over us, will continue to protect and guide you all. And as much as this God have already finished His work, we all will march into Biafra nation in no distant time. You know, many people, why many politicians were misbehaving all these years? Like I was discussing with somebody on meeting, I said we should not be totally, blame those who are still misbehaving concerning the restoration of Biafra. Among the politicians, as a former man that gave birth to this great man of our time, because every man knows where he started from. The mistake or the forever blame, self-blame that Wazirike will suffer in his life is to introduce NNAMDIKANU into the struggle for freedom of Biafra. I know within him, he will be regretting all the rest of his life. If I know that this man will take up the mantle to truly liberate the people of Biafra, that he will never initially to bring him into this Biafra struggle. You know that God has a way of doing His own things. Biafra has come, but many are still in doubt if Biafra has come or not. The victory, the independence of Amazonians today mark the beginning of our own independence. For those who does not understand the tactics, I call it a super tactics that Onyendu laid down before his own people handed him over to the enemy. And my joy today is that the enemies are getting the clear language. You know, there is always a languages and there is always a clear one that every man need to understand. Because when an elder speaks in riddles, at the end, you break it down for the children to understand the clear language. We have several times spoken in radios, and today the language is very clear to the politicians. We are not against anybody. IPOB is not against anybody. We understand the foolishness of a black man, and we understand how black man can view a journey, especially when that journey requires a very serious sacrifice. We black race, the black location called Africa, we are where we are today because we refuse to understand the necessity for sacrifice. And anytime I remember the men and women on ground in the land of Biafra, in the midst of enemy, both internal enemy and external enemy, I say, wow, this generation is becoming different from what we found, the character we found in our fathers' era. I am so proud of this particular generation, and this generation will everly enjoy the grace and the mercy and the blessings, unlimited blessings of God, because this generation have done what heaven always recommend. What heaven we look at and acts so graciously to the people. That's what this generation has engaged, and they have gotten it right. For those who are still in doubt if Biafra will be a nation or not, I want to use this opportunity to advise you to speak to your own spirit, because we are to identify a wise person who is able to read signs, to read times, and understand times and season. With the happenings and the season and the time we are, every Biafran, both home and abroad, both those that have a wavering faith concerning the restoration of Biafra, should by now to understand that the game to our final destination has taken a very wider space that nobody can avoid anymore. Politicians are holding meetings here and there. Abuja is busy. But what can they do? You know, there is something they speak in the language of the ancient, the oldest language of this planet Earth, the language of heaven. That is means the Igbo language. There is something that is a say in our language that says Ihojo Baafo Obromenala. That means when a abomination gain more years, it become a custom of the people. You know, for so many years, politicians have been messing up the destiny of the people, and they were being, being walked away free for not paying such unforgiving sin. They have been killing, they have been kidnapping, they have been detaining people unlawfully. And the time I knew that Nigeria will eventually end one day is when the justice of the nation collapses and runs into the hands of, I call them a men of incidental fortunes. What I mean by men of incidental fortunes is when a miscreant, when half-educated, when a retired criminals find themselves into a corridor of power, then that means justice will collapse one day and the city will suffer chaos. And when that happens, people will stand up to resist, in other way, to defend their life, to be able to live. Because life given to you, you have the choice to live and you have the choice to die. Like so many, the original Hausas, they choose out of their foolishness of trying to be loyal to what I call, sorry, I'm checking something on system here, what I call religious obedience. The Tness use religious obedience to grab the hold of the Hausas, and today the Hausas are nowhere to be found. And this is exactly what the enemies planted against the Biafrans. Then the Britain came with their own pattern of religious, just to divert our mind from reality. And then came in bed. One thing that the Britain will ever live to regret is, why do we suffer these people to the extent that their youth begin to journey abroad? Their youth begin to exile themselves, in other words, in search of greener pasture, and they exile themselves into the land where Britain created, and a developed world where justice are being displayed in a good manner. So Britain will ever live to regret. Why? Because as we were busy, escaping from that camp called Nigeria into searching of greener pasture, the politicians were happy. The British government were very, very much happy, because they are saying that these people who are joining out, they are leaving the space empty to be able to grab by their manager, which is the Tness. But they never knew there is something in us that wherever we go, we come back home. We are not like other colors of the world. Like, I want to tell you the mentality of the Britain. So many world, so many other citizens of the world, wherever they go, they find comfort. They remain there forever. Those who are travelers like us, they will understand this is what I'm saying. They will tell you, they will testify to this. It's only the Biafrans, who goes abroad and his mind will be in his father's house. Other race, when they travel, they find comfort, they forget everything about home. But I believe that's when Britain will begin, that's when they began to feel that they have made a little bit mistake. And as I was telling some people concerning, I said, let me analyze this Biafra of this generation to those who are still doubting. Every time you will hear a language of cowards, there is one language I call language of cowards among the Biafrans. But today, that language has been deleted out of their mind. Language of cowards is always, we suffered during the time of Biafra genocide. Ojukwu put us in trouble. This is language of coward. We will not suffer what we suffered during the Biafra. We will not allow that to take place again. Then the question I always ask or challenge those who have this word in their mouth is, how many times did you read in your Bible as a Christian? How many times did Israel suffer defeat?
Coming across my YouTube channel, you are welcome. Now that we have finished watching this video together, you saw me sitting there watching it together with you. I appreciate you. Let's go to the comment section to talk about it. If it is your first time, subscribe, put on your notification bell. That notification bell is very, very important.